and welcome to the Nintendo Switch Online Game Club, the show where we play through the games available on Nintendo's various NSO apps completely at random. I'm your host, Derrick Bittner, and in this episode, I'm joined by Beta64, YouTuber,
Howdy.
streamer, and lover of those early versions of games. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Sorry, I did let my radio voice out. I'm doing fantastic, knowing that today we are going to be able to talk about one of the video games that has existed.
Yes, it's always exciting. And of course,
It's always exciting.
Yoshiller, YouTuber, and editor to more than a few other YouTubers that you've likely heard of, just to name, just a few out there. And how are you doing, Yoshiller?
Hello, humans. I'm Yoshiller. I'm very happy to be here. It's an honor. I know when you first announced that you were doing this game club thing, I wanted to be included, so I'm happy to finally be here and play some games.
We're here. We made it to the big time.
Always wanted to get you guys on here, so it's nice to finally manage to do that. And hey, as you're likely both aware, there are now over 200 games across the NSO, and while some are widely known like Super Mario Bros. And Zelda, there are some odd picks that could be considered hidden gems. We honestly don't know. So what we'll be doing is entering all those games into a randomizer, picking one, and then giving our initial thoughts. And this week, the Wheel of Games has chosen Pilotwings 64 to the utter horror of Beta64. Like, he just hates the fact that we're going to be playing this game.
I hate the fact that I'm going to have this much fun. I can't imagine my life getting any better than this, and it sucks because everything's downhill from here.
Yeah, that's true. So, obviously, this is just one of your favorite games of all time, I guess. It just really up there.
It's really funny because only reason I played this was because it was on Switch Online. I didn't have it as a young lad. I didn't have it on any, as some people might know. I'm stealing this from Yoshiller, who told me this off screen. But it's not on the Wii. It's not on the Wii U. Now we have a chance to play it, and because of that ad they played with the guy going like, "Hey, do you want to ride a rocket ship to the moon and stuff like that?" I was instantly like, "I have to try this game." Played it. One of the best gaming experiences of my life. I can't tell you how. It's not going to be for everyone, which is why I'm curious what you both are going to think, because neither of you have played it, right?
No, I haven't.
So this is going to be interesting. For me, it fit perfectly because it's perfect for this. A vibe game. It's a good vibe game. So if you've got the right mindset going in of like, I'm just here to just chill on the couch, squish down into the cushions, and play a video game for an hour or two, I can't imagine you having a bad time. I can't imagine.
You got me intrigued, but what did you know about Pilotwings 64 before Andrew's whole
after I explained everything?
Yeah, exactly. How do I put that?
What are your initial thoughts?
I mean, Pilotwings is one of those Nintendo franchises that like I haven't tapped into, so I'm kind of glad that this is the game that we got this week. And yeah, like Andrew was saying, it was never re-released prior to the Nintendo Switch Online app. And in more recent years, I've gotten into the habit of trying to record and archive footage of just games in general. And Pilotwings always struck me as one of those games where like you record it for B-roll footage. It's just a game where the footage just plays in the background because you have nothing else to play in the background, So that's what Pilotwings always struck me as, a very lax game. So I'm excited that this is the game that came up because I've never played it, so it's a prime opportunity for me to get footage of it, especially through the N64 Online app, because that's the sharpest image that Nintendo 64 games have ever looked in an official capacity.
Perfection.
So that much is cool, and then I think the game runs at 60 FPS now, which is awesome because back in the day, most N64 games, if not all of them, could only display at 30. So
I think if I'm remembering correctly, it could have ran at 60.
But the N64 itself only did 30?
It was something like that, where it was like the system was just not powerful enough. So when they brought it to Switch Online, I think like they didn't have to change the frame rate cap. I think it just... the extra power's here, now it can run at full frame rate. I could be wrong, though.
Yeah, I know that F-Zero X was a 60 FPS game, but I know they had to do a lot of trickery to make that happen.
Yeah, that's actually true, yeah. So on that note, being able to get the footage at this time in this quality is perfect. And I'll be honest, I don't know that I would have played Pilotwings 64 had it not been for this game club. So I'm really glad that that's the game that came up, and I'm really looking forward to playing a lax game and just getting B-roll footage, as I referred to it earlier.
You're so right in that it's perfect B-roll footage because it's the camera's always so smooth and like it just you fly up, you're going through the air slowly. Like I can't imagine a better thing to talk about, like a better thing to just talk and have it in the background because
Right.
it's just perfect chill.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited.
And honestly, that's kind of why I stayed away for so long. Well, the thing is, I've never really played the Pilotwings series. I didn't have an SNES, so I never played the original. I didn't have an N64 growing up, so I never played this. And then when I got the 3DS and there was Pilotwings Resort,
yeah,
I was like, my conception of the game was something along the lines of Microsoft Flight Simulator, where it's just flying around, not really doing much, maybe some minor challenges, but you're not really... There's no goals. There's nothing like that. That's all I ever thought it was. And
is that not what the game is?
I don't,
That's what I thought it was too.
Well, hold on, because I'm talking about Pilotwings Resort now, just because I don't want to spoil anything on the original game we're actually going to play.
Okay.
But Microsoft Flight Simulator, yeah, it's kind of you just fly around and do stuff. And Pilotwings Resort has that thing where you're just able to fly around and do whatever. Mm-hmm. But like, I don't think Microsoft Flight Simulator really has that many missions like fly through the rings, put out the fire,
and
do
that's
like
what
this
I
thing.
Kind of learned is that there actually are missions. There is a structure.
There's some kind of structure.
Pilotwings.
It's very lax, though. You're right. It's very lax. It's about the joy of flying.
Yeah, that's just something I never really latched onto. So it's interesting to try this out because it's very different from everything I've gotten up to this point, where it's very like, here's your goal, get to it, or that sort of idea. This is very much a chill game. The only other one I can really think of on the surface though is like Harvest Moon.
Yeah.
But
the chill games are good, dude. Just because in this day and age, we need the good vibes in the gaming sphere, and what better way than with the good vibe guy and the good vibe game.
That's true. I just tend to be more story based with a lot of my stuff. Like, it's a good story can really click me in, and that's sort of how I chill. It's like reading a good book.
I like a good arcade game. I like just being able to power through a game, and if I die, just restart immediately and go again. So
this is such an interesting group here because we got the guy who's like, I like the story-driven single-player experiences, and it's like, I like the ones where I can just go in and just arcade, get through the levels and stuff like that. And then I'm over here like, I like sitting on the couch. So
yeah, I guess that's true. It's a good dynamic.
Let's see if it all works together.
Yeah.
Will we all like the game? I legitimately have no idea.
So you strike me as you'll like flying around, Andrew, and then Derek will like enjoying the atmosphere, seeing like what the world has to offer, and I'm gonna be like, I gotta get the highest score on these missions as much as I can.
Yeah.
No, you know what? I'm not gonna say. I was about to give you opinions and real thoughts, but that's gonna wait until I've played it again. For the fourth time.
I'm
just glad we got a Nintendo 64 game because that was the console I grew up on. So
there you go. They're just pure memories here. Yeah. It's that's kind of why I love the Game Club, because there's a lot of games on here I'm just not familiar with, and actually getting a chance to try them out. And the only other thing I actually know about Pilotwings 64 is I believe it features Nestor, which was a comic character from Nintendo Power back in the day. Like this and like a bowling game on the Virtual Boy were the only two games he was actually featured in.
Now, I know you are right, but he's given a different name in this game, and I don't know why. Okay. I'm gonna pull it up.
Maybe
I think it's like
I forgot about that, but I do know it's supposed to be Nestor.
It is definitely supposed. His name's Lark.
Lark.
Is that
L-A-R?
No, I can't quite get to it. It's not like a Jimmy James situation. Like
it's not like Ned or Stir. No, it's Lark.
Lark is short for Nestor.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, sure.
It's definitely the same dude, though. He looks exactly the same.
Yeah. So, I honestly, I know we have a bunch of different flying machines, including like a jetpack at some point and things like that. But I don't know if there's an end game or anything like that. And
I'm not going to tell you.
Actually, I do have one question for you, though, Andrew.
Okay.
When you play, do you play with the actual like Pro controller and whatnot, the Switch controller? Or do you have the N64 controller? Because is this one of those games where it's just kind of better with the N64 controller?
Yeah, I actually have the exact opinion. I have done it on both.
Okay.
So I didn't have the N64 controller when I started it because it was sold out everywhere. So I played through the entire thing on just Joy-Cons, and it was wonderful. It
Okay.
wasn't.
really?
I didn't have to like hold down a button to like get the C stick kind of thing. It was kind of just normal, no problems at all. When I got the N64 controller, it did. I'm the kind of guy that's like, oh, I want the original controller with it, so I did prefer it
Okay.
with the N64 controller. But it is more than playable in a
That-
relaxing state of not like, where's the dang button?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's all I need to know, because sometimes I know there's certain N64 games where you're just gonna be fumbling with those C buttons, and it's gonna be a pain
exactly.
because I don't have an N64 controller. I couldn't justify buying one for something I wasn't gonna use a whole lot. So
Don't tell anyone, but you can plug into a PC and then use it for anything in there.
Right.
Well, there you go.
I
I'll
got
just
one as a
use this
souvenir
thing.
when I was in Japan, so like I'm gonna get my money's worth on it.
Oh, there you go.
That's
Perfect.
so nice.
That's perfect. Yeah. Fortunately, most of the N64 games I played so far have been pretty reasonable when it comes to needing
This one, I think it'll be even more than reasonable. It'll be good.
Oh,
Okay.
But I want to know your opinion, though.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. You'll be getting that opinion.
Okay,
I don't
Thank God.
hold back with this. Honestly, you play these for a week and you come back with an opinion. That's for sure.
Now, just remember, it's one of my favorite games. So, just be a
Hey,
little
if I have
kind
to break your heart, I will break your heart.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
So like, should I get some puns ready? Should I be like, shall we take flight? Shall we soar?
Oh,
Did this game hit the mark? Did this?
Oh, that's good. There's
I
a
don't know.
video
Like,
game where you have to
should I
mark.
get a
This
bunch of
game
these ready before
crash
we're
and
done
burn.
playing the game?
Is it going to crash and burn, or are we going to fly like a bird man?
Oh,
Ah.
there you go.
Does this
The game is just plain good.
Y'all
Like,
don't know
I don't
what I'm
know
talking
what
about,
else you guys got.
does this pilot sting?
Yeah.
That's
Or
not
will we 64?
Nice try. You winged it.
I tried. I went for it. That half of the thing of comedy is just going for it.
Oh, there we go. Down alpha line. Does it hit the lark?
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
There, perfect, full circle. Very
Is
There
good.
it
we
a
go.
pilot win? That's
Yeah.
good.
Oh, there we go. I love it. Well, do we have any other thoughts before we jump into Pilotwings 64? I mean, there's not like a whole lot to go over. It's just basically gonna Yoshiller and I experiencing what this game's actually about, while Andrew is like,
Having the
enjoy this
time of
game.
his life.
Play it. Love it.
Dude, I'm so looking forward to it, but I'm also like, I can totally see both of you hating it, but I could also totally see you both loving it. That's the weird thing about Pilotwings 64. It really will all depend on like how you go into it. So hopefully you had a good week and you're not like going into it like, it sucks. I stubbed my toe and I broke my Coke can.
Now I gotta
And
fly
you-
this freaking plane. I can't land it properly. Yeah.
Exactly. So we'll see what happens. I guess, shall we take
Yeah.
to the skies?
Yes.
There
So-
you go. Yeah, look, Nintendo
perfect.
finally re-released this game. Let's see if it was worth re-releasing.
Yep.
Let's
All
see.
right. We'll be back after a week of playing a Pilotwings 64 for the Nintendo 64. See you guys soon.
Wahoo. Bye.
Do you ever find yourself thinking, I wish I had a jetpack? Rocket belt. Have you ever felt like a bird, man? Wanna fly away? Maybe late one night you imagined shooting missiles from a gyrocopter at a giant robot. That's oddly specific. Hey, we've all been there. Pilotwings 64 is landing soon, and when it arrives, you'll be able to do all that and more.
And we're back after a week of playing Pilotwings 64. And I kind of already know what Beta64 thinks, but I'm more
You have
curious
no
about...
idea.
Yeah, exactly. No idea. But I'm more curious what my fellow first-time Pilotwings player thinks. Yoshiller, what'd you end up thinking of Pilotwings 64?
You got your license now, right?
Can I tell you my literal first impressions with this game, like upon
please.
booting it up?
scared.
Okay. So
Remember,
you boot
my
up the
entire
game.
identity is in this game. So
Okay.
be careful.
Look, You boot up the game, you choose between like 1 or 2 save files, and then you have to do like those little tutorial tests before you can do anything else. So I get in the little hang glider one, and we got like that nice smooth jazz music playing, and I'm like really feeling the controls, and I'm like, all right, land on the target, I can do that.
I heard,
Unaware that you're supposed to press the A button before you actually land on the target. I thought like, oh, it's a video game, we can probably just like slam straight into it. So nice jazz music, and then all of a sudden, and the character starts like front flipping all over the place, and I'm like, what in the world?
It's a literal jump scare, dude.
Yeah.
It really is.
So I was like, one of those games, and that became more evident as I did the other tests, where it's like I'm trying to be a perfectionist and trying to get 100% on all the missions that I do, and I keep getting like 98 and 99, and I'm like, all right, I see what we're doing here. I see what type of game this is. All right, anyway,
it's a video game.
Yeah.
But you still haven't told me if you like that. Is that good? Because you could be like, oh, I love the fact that I always have like a new goal to set to get 100%. Or it could be, God, I want this to be done.
I mean, it's nice to have a challenge, but I don't like that I spend an hour trying to get 100% because I'm 1 point off every single time. I digress, though. I enjoyed the game. I didn't so much enjoy the hang gliding stuff as much as I enjoyed the jetpack and the gyrocopter. I thought those were a lot more fun, much more my style. I just suck at the hang gliding stuff. Then I have to start taking pictures, and I want to get 100% on the pictures, and I just can't do it.
That is honestly so hard.
God,
the photos.
God help you figuring out what the heck they want from a picture.
Right. This isn't Pokemon Snap rules at all, you know?
Did you check the thing? There's an option before you go into a photo one where you can view sample photos that will show you what you're supposed to get.
No,
I know what
especially
a perfect
lining
photo
yourself
looks like.
up.
How do I get it?
Yeah.
I love that. I'm like, did you check the sample photos? And you're both like, I checked the sample photos. Of course I checked the sample photos.
Yeah.
I check the hints every time. I understand the appeal of this game. It is so not for me. It is.
Yeah.
It is like you're describing it as like, oh, it's so cool and relaxing and fun. It's just a chill out game. Meanwhile, I'm stressed. Like, oh, even out. Oh God, I'm in the wrong direction. Oh God, all right, I completed all the things it wants me to. Not in a great time, but okay, I just need to land. Okay, I think this is good. Bounce. Terrible score. I'm like, God damn it, this sucks.
Yeah, this game is more about landing than it is about flying.
Yes.
So true.
Yes.
So true. Yeah.
Oh my God. I think this is more punishing than F-Zero X.
Would you say this is the Dark Souls of flying games?
I've not played many flying games, but you know what?
Just
Probably.
say yes, put in the title and the thumbnail, and you're good to go.
Because I was like Yoshiller at first, where for that first, the beginning set, I tried to get as perfect as possible, and I got all gold. I'm like, okay, I don't think I'm going to be able to get, the 100%, but I got all gold. I feel pretty good. Get to the next set, and all of a sudden, no, you're just going to die and scream and just like, it is awful. You're going to struggle to get to even bronze. At least I did. I sucked at this game. That's all I can say. So, I mean, you've been effusing its praises this entire time, Andrew. What do you see about this game? What makes this so fun for you?
I am Pilotwings' biggest warrior.
Yes.
And it is obvious that I need to don my suit of armor, my sword and my shield, and head into battle. Let me just start with a quote from gaming in the Clinton years.
Oh God.
If you're good at the game, you'll think it controls good. If you're bad at the game, you'll think it controls bad.
I mean,
now, do I agree with that? No. But here's the deal. That game is the kind of game where you don't like, when you play like Mario, you're like, oh, you stop, it stops. You know what I mean? It's one of those like mech piloting games where it's like you hold left and you're like, God, you couldn't go any slower. And then you finally make the left turn. And okay. So the reason why I'm like, it's a chill, relaxing game is because of how quick you go from like you're dead to starting again. It is extremely quick.
Yeah.
So you know how like in Cuphead, it's an intense game that is so difficult. But when you die, you mash that button. I just broke my finger. You mash the button and you just start back up. So it's like, yeah, it's hard, it's difficult, but at least the stages aren't like 20 minutes long and there's like, oh, I didn't reach the checkpoint and I'm screwed. It's kind of like you get in it's a grind, kind of.
Yeah.
It's like
The longest levels are like 2
test.
minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, the longest levels are so short and you usually die like, right at the end. Which can be brutal, especially for hang gliding, because that one's like, I still haven't perfected very well. I think I played some this week. I did play.
Okay.
So when you have like the platform, right, and you're going with the hang glider, if you're like this tall, they won't start running. You have to be like right at the edge.
Yeah.
And then as they're running, you hold down the brake button and they run and they go, and then that's how you do it. It is so difficult to like get that exact like right level, but it's like, it's like, oh, I died, okay, I'll try again. It takes like a minute to get back to where I was. So
Kind
the
of,
music,
but okay, I'll let you go on about the music first. Let's go. That's fair.
so the music is what really keeps me going, because it's like that music playing, especially for me, hang gliding is the most relaxing one, because you don't have to hold any buttons. You're just like sitting there, just like moving the control stick left and right, and just listen.
The music is the most relaxing part of this entire game. You could just chill out to that, but meanwhile I'm just like tense as all get out because I'm trying to get through this one ring or whatever.
You both tried for perfection, which
I gave up on
Derrick.
perfection. I tried to get to bronze and I still struggled and was like, oh my god, I'm ready to just throw this
That is true.
switch.
Look, I guess all those years of working for Gerard rubbed off on me, but
You just got to keep going and going and going. Get that 100% completion. Is that right, Yoshiller?
that's right. Look, not that I dislike the music, but when you're going for 100% completion and the song that's playing in the background is just like this smooth jazz, I like want to take my headphones off. But
Really?
But
do you want like go?
I want like that arcade style music. I want like that Sonic music where like I'm pumped to keep going. But there is one song that I just think is an absolute bop, and genuinely, it's the song when you actually get a medal. It's like that 15-second victory loop when all the characters are like flying toward the screen. I don't know why, but anytime that song played, I was like, "This is my jam. This is a banger right here."
It's like a reward for your hard work, getting to hear those 15 seconds.
It sounds like one of those YouTube royalty-free songs that you used to use on like Kevin McLeod or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just like it.
So
I
want to ask if you both unlocked Birdman.
I unlocked Birdman.
Okay.
What did you think? I didn't play it though.
Okay, well, I want to know. I assume you played it then, Mr. Bit Nerd?
I tried it once, and I think all they had available at the time was that first island, and I flew around a little bit, and was like, okay, this is, I guess, the chill out and explore mode and check out, all that stuff. And I've seen on the Wikipedia here that there's a bunch of little Easter eggs that you can find.
Yeah.
But that's the only island I had access to. I'd honestly feel like I'd have more fun exploring Little USA because they have all the little things there, but you have to unlock that by doing better in the other modes.
The actual thing is to unlock, I don't remember if it was, I think it's you get all gold for the first one to unlock, right?
Yeah. Well, at least I did, and that's how I unlocked
it. To get to the second one, you have to like find a star in one of the normal stages. You have to like explore. So
you got to explore instead of doing the mission that you're given.
Exactly. You need to ignore the mission and just explore with I think the jetpack is the one it like recommends because that's the most control you're gonna get out of anything.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say so the USA map was cool. And I messed around a little bit because I remembered an old Easter egg where if you go over to the Mario Mount Rushmore thing and you shoot it with the missiles, it turns into Wario's face instead.
Wait, really?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
I know that being an old like Easter egg type thing that people covered. But
I record everything I do, so I was like, I got to get footage of this Wario head, so I'll post it in here later. But as I was flying around the USA map, I did grow more appreciative of the game. I was like, this is just a vibe. I like the Nintendo 64 aesthetic. This
Yes,
whole
dude.
this whole terrain is like when I was first learning how to use Unity. Like this is how I was making my stuff look. So
Yeah.
it's a very good launch title game. But I stand by the fact that if Pilotwings launched at any other time on the Nintendo 64, like if that was a late game launch and it launched next to Mario Party 3, people wouldn't really care. And I think that's also why it was like a launch title for the Super Nintendo and it was a launch title for the 3DS, is because the game's all about spectacle. And look, I would love a Pilotwings game on Switch, genuinely.
Oh,
But
genuinely,
it doesn't
yeah.
make sense to launch it now. Who's
No.
gonna play it? Yeah.
Now,
So
I
I like it. I appreciate it. I suck at it, and that might bring my like rating of the game down a bit. But like I said, I understand why you like it, Andrew, and
Thank
I
you.
appreciate what it stands for. But like, it's not going to go in my top 5 N64 games. You know,
I'm
it's
going-
no Bomberman 64 the second attack or anything like
I'm
that.
going to say right now that when the game launched, in today's dollars, it was $135.
Oh my god.
That's, you can't just buy
N64
a
games were
plane.
expensive, that's for sure.
It was $70 on launch in, what was it, 1994? Was that it? Something like that.
So, I
Anyway, I
forget
did the
exactly
math
what it was.
recently.
Yeah.
I did the math. It was like $135. So, yeah, some people, if I remember correctly, you can tell I watched gaming in the Clinton years recently, because that is where I figured out the price, and people at the time were like, this is far too expensive for like what you get in this game. Far too expensive. But when you're paying like, I don't know, $5 a year is what I'm like paying on my family plan or something like that, just to you know what? I just want to sit on the couch. I boot it up. I go to Birdman. I select the time of day to be cloudy and rainy. I head on over to the Ferris wheel. I plop down, click the R button so that way I can like get that bird's eye view. And I look at the Ferris wheel spinning in the background with the clouds going over the water as the waves go back and forth. The sound design with the music. Oh, it's so good.
I'm gonna do that next. Then that's a
Yeah,
good
so you,
idea. I didn't even
you
think
just
about,
go
like,
vibe. That's all you do.
It's honestly just a good like wallpaper, like, or just like something to have on the TV, just to like hear the boo doo 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 boo doo doo doo. It's just so good. The levels themselves, when I play them, I do enjoy them a lot.
I was going to ask that
because
next, because
that
so far
Cuphead-
you've been asking about the vibe, but there are some challenges here where I'm just like ready to lose my mind. Some of them are not so bad. Most of the gyrocopter ones are pretty decent, I'd say. The
Yeah.
jetpack ones can be a pain in the ass if you're not getting that right.
Yeah.
I encountered, you got the one where you got to bounce the ball into a goal. One hand,
yeah.
great, I don't have to land. On the other hand, God, I hate this ball. Why do they have it set up in the middle of a factory where it can get caught up on the geometry unless you get it just right at the beginning? And I'm just losing my mind. I'm like, you guys like, oh, it only takes 2 minutes. Meanwhile, 5 minutes in, I'm still trying to get this damn ball where it needs to go.
Yeah. Usually at that point, I click reset. I just press
like I
start and
said,
click reset.
I couldn't do the hang gliding ones. I'd played like that. It was like the first one, like the snow level. I was trying to do the hang gliding mission for like an hour, trying to get
Yeah,
like
where
a
you have to
proper
like
photo.
go
Straight
dive
down and
through.
dive. Like, my God,
That
what a
one's
Yeah,
tough.
and I was
ramp
like,
up.
I'm not gonna get a perfect photo. I had to like give up on getting 100% for the hang gliding ones. Gyrocopter and jetpack, I toughed it out. Even if it took me an hour, I was like, I'm getting 100% on these because I actually like controlling it. Hang gliding, I just had to settle for getting a bronze and move on.
So I definitely have not 100% in this game, or even come close to it.
Have you unlocked the
I-
other extra modes? Because I know there's like other fun things you can.
I unlocked the cannon and the
Right.
like, what's the one where you drop out of a plane? What is that called?
Skydiving.
Skydiving. That's the word.
Yes.
I unlocked both of those. I haven't unlocked the last one because I'm trying to refuse to like look up a guide just so I can like get the vibe of like this is what it was. You can tell it's all about the vibe for me.
Sure.
Yeah,
you can,
definitely.
You can tell. This is the point where you realize, Andrew, I can see why you stopped doing Beta64 reviews. Because all you say is, man, I really liked the way it felt when I was sitting my butt on the couch. It was a real comfy couch. And that couch, the fabric was just perfect. And the game, because I was on that couch, was perfect. It was the best game I've ever played. So, anyway, it's good vibe gaming, though. It's what
Yeah, it works
I'm
out.
here where I belong. So, anyway, the levels, I enjoyed the cup style. The reason I say Cuphead was the first game that I played that was a difficult game that actually hooked me. It was the first one ever. Any of those like Mega Man style games or just like any difficult game, I was like, no. I'm playing like, I don't know, the easy ones. I'm playing some like turn-based RPG, so I don't have to like, you gotta click that exact frame kind of thing. I wasn't into that. Something about Cuphead clicked. My brain was like, oh, I'm just trying to recognize patterns and I'm trying to like just do it. If I don't do it, it's not that big of a deal. I can just quickly reset, try again. I know what I need to do this time. So the same kind of vibe is for Pilotwings, like the one that goes straight down. I'm going off. I go straight down, like, oh, I went too far down. Okay, next time. Okay, restart, boo-boo. Hey, that's too much. Okay, do it again. Okay, got it. Oh, I hit the wall. Okay, I need to turn a little bit sooner. So for me, it's difficult. It can be frustrating. I know it can be. But it's just the fact that I can just boom, 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 click reset, and then the music starts playing again, and like you just see like the walk, and you just hear like when you go through, it's like woo, and they're clapping when you go into the bridges. I'm like, okay, I'm okay. It's like I get that like dang it, okay, all right, well let's try again. Dang it, all right, let's try again. I don't know. It's like when you
that was me.
Yeah, except it wasn't dang it for me. It was like
it was.
Now, usually I don't shout at games, but usually it's a matter of like the phrase I start saying is from the top, and I just hit retry.
It's just heavy sigh, retry.
Yeah,
it just.
I guess
it's at that point.
Were
where
you in a
starts...
rush? I assume, right? Like you wanted to get it done so you could work on other things, right?
Well, I mean
I wanted to.
There's
play like
kind
Mario
of
Wonder
a big Mario game that came out this week that's not working in this game's favor. I gotta say.
So let me tell you right now, when I first played Pilotwings, there was nothing for me to play. I wasn't like playing anything.
Right.
So it was like I didn't have anything else I wanted to do. So I was like, I died for the 14th time. Well, it's another 20, whatever. Yeah. But now it's like, hey, Mario.
Well, the funny thing is I'm kind of getting that legit N64 launch experience where you had you had Mario 64 and you had Pilotwings 64.
Yeah.
And if a kid got Pilotwings 64 and played a little bit of that and kept dying the way we did, then it'd be like, you know what? I got Mario over there. I'm gonna go play Mario.
Right.
Yeah, where I can just run and jump and like have a good time. And some could argue Mario 64 is more relaxing because you can take a break.
Yeah.
But like in the middle of a stage, you can just like sit there and Mario sit down. You can just kind of look at the surroundings and explore. But it's not an arcadey kind of game. Like, I don't know, apples to oranges maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it definitely is apple to oranges. But yeah, as you said, I've not unlocked them myself, so I have no idea what they're actually like. But the
bonus games.
Yeah, the 3 bonus games you can unlock is skydiving, human cannonball, and something called the Jumble Hopper, which grants the player special spring-loaded boots that used in bouncing across the landscape to an end space.
Bro, whoa, that's so sick. Why haven't I unlocked that?
What?
That's so sick.
Why are these extra events sound way more interesting than the crap we have?
I know.
Well, okay, the cannonball is really hard. That's the one that got me the most frustrated because specifically because it's not like before where you can just quickly restart. So you have, I believe it's like 3 areas you go to in a row and you get 3 shots per. You have to take all 3 shots. So even if you like get a bullseye, you're going to have to do 2 shots and you have to watch the whole animation play through.
Oh, I see.
Well, and then you get to the last one, you screw it up and you're like, well, game over. I have to do all the other 2 again. And they're not easy to do. So it's
That's true. Fortunately, we live in the day and age of where we're playing this on NSO, so we have save states.
Yeah. I actually didn't use save states at all. It's like the first time I never used save states or anything like that for this game.
I didn't use them either.
Right?
I usually don't unless I'm like experimenting. I'm like, what will happen if I do this? Okay, cool.
Yeah, true.
Go back. I usually use save states for literal, like, I'm going to put the game down right now. Let me put a save state, put my Switch into sleep mode. I don't usually... Yes, if I'm really trying to like show footage of something and I don't want to redo the cannonball thing over and over and over, I might be more prone to use save states. I just have...
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm going to say Wario Land 3 is more frustrating to me, though.
No way! No.
Are you kidding me? Wario Land 3 made me swear and scream at the TV at one point.
Oh.
It was like... But I will tell you, it was like an hour of trying to get the same one single jump, and every time you fell, it was like the one where like you had to like get the squished Wario and move into this really tiny
Oh,
hole.
it's
And
like
if
that level with the owl. Yeah.
yeah, but you fall down to the bottom. You have to climb a ladder
All the
for
way
like
back up,
20 to 30 seconds. That is what makes something frustrating and unbearable to me. I love Wario Land 3, by the way. I'm just saying, comparing the two, Wario Land 3 is more frustrating to me because it's that ability to, I failed, but I can restart almost instantly. When I
Okay.
have to go through a
Fair.
minute of like walking back to where I was, that's the part of me where I'm like, God, please just shoot me.
No, I admit speed in a game is important, but it's weird because the rest of Pilotwings is a slow game. You're right,
Yes.
like the loading time between like restarting your attempt on the gyrocopters each time is pretty fast. You're right. And when you're actually playing the gyrocopter or the jetpack or whatever, I guess it's faster than the hang glider. But it's so interesting to me that you're like, it's all about the vibe. It's all about like getting into the feel of things, and that's evident by the fact that the game's controls are slow and the music is jazz music.
Yeah.
But then you're like, oh, but my favorite part about Pilotwings is how quickly you can retry something.
Exactly.
Well, it like flies in the face of each other, but it still makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of like
It's a
where
Pilotwings thing.
it's like he's just a Pilotwings fan, guys. It's like it's the vibe and it's the chillness, but there's like that extra. I don't know. It's like it's gonna sound weird. It's like when you get like a food, and it's like if it's all one flavor, it's just like whatever. But you got that like ting of like spice. You're like, ooh, that's spicy. Drink some water. Okay. Whew.
Not for me. I'm a picky eater.
I'll
eat the same stuff every day.
Yeah.
I mean,
I will too.
For me, it's like comparisons. Like, okay, do I want something that I have to like get back to, but not die? I mean, it all depends on the situation, obviously, of like how I feel about it at times. But with this one, I think the thing that got to me is that I wasn't noticing improvement, and it took far too long for me to see improvement in myself to the point where I'm like, I just suck at this. Like, what am I doing wrong? And it's hard to get that indication. And eventually you do bang your head against that wall enough that like, okay, I swing down this way, take a left, take a picture of the whale, get 3 shots. I got 3 shots there. Okay, now I can head over there and I can land better if I stay low, but I can't be too low or I'm going to go right into the water and have to restart again. So let's find a nice way to even out. There's the fountain. Take a picture of the fountain 3 times. Okay, hopefully one of those is good. Try to land and crash.
Yeah. But that's all in like 60 seconds.
No,
which is why
it's like
well,
okay, it takes like 2 minutes, but those 2 minutes feel like they drag at a point, and it's all stress. Like if I screw up one thing, it's all botched, and I got to start over.
That's it's. I mean, like, I love. It's so interesting to me that we can both say the exact same thing.
I know.
Where it's like
one
that
be actually
2 minutes,
for it.
but it's weird because I'm like, oh yeah, that's great, and you're like, it was such a slog, man. And it's so interesting. The human condition, man. This Pilotwings 64 it just shows the human psyche at its finest. The exact same sensory thing. One person can be like, and I was so relaxed, and the other person can be like, I was stressed out of my mind. Isn't that wild?
Well, I was stressed out of my mind when I used the hang glider. I was so relaxed when I used the gyrocopter.
Yeah, gyrocopter was nice. There was that one mission where I'm like, I finally felt like I was vibing. It was the one you had to fly through the rings, and a lot of them were under the bridges. I'm like, this is fun. This is neat. I like this. And it was tougher, and the camera angles could suck at times. But the jetpack mission when you're going through the cave, that was kind of cool. In its own way. I didn't even mind the one where you actually
frustrating one.
Oh, really? You found that one frustrating?
The cave one was so hard for me.
Oh, see, I just used the low power
Right.
jetpack part.
The B button one.
Yep.
I tried to go.
No, I knew better.
That was a big mistake on my part. Yeah.
And then I didn't even mind. Well, at first I didn't mind the one where you fight. What is it, Mecha Hawk? And send missiles against him. Like the first 2 hits were fine, and then all of a sudden, I swear the little bastard was just staying underneath me. Like I'm trying to turn to come around and shoot him, and he just runs underneath me or just barely moves at the last moment. I'm like, what the heck? Why are you moving like this?
The most impressive AI that's ever existed on the N64. They used it all on Mecha Hawk.
Yes.
I mean, there's not much competition on the N64, but I get what you're saying.
It can think, feel, and smell. I don't know if any of you knew that.
Wait, what's the competition? Like the Bowser fights in Mario 64?
Yeah. Just move towards.
Occasionally breathe fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So, I had one objective thing to say.
Okay.
Everything I've said so far was subjective because I'm not. That's just who I am. I did like
Fair.
reviews on my own channel. I just was like, and the game made me feel this way. No, but this is good vibe gaming, so I could say this.
Yeah.
The controls on the Joy-Cons were great. I tried playing again on the Joy-Cons versus the N64 controller because you were asking that beforehand whether it like needed it. I think it doesn't because Mario 64, when you like do the C buttons, it's like
Yeah.
like a step. But with Pilotwings 64, it's just a smooth, like left, smooth right. So using an analog stick to do that didn't feel unnatural.
The controls itself, the button layouts and all that felt fine. Like you don't need the actual N64 controller for this. I just eased right into it, had no real issue, all good there. But
That's not like
it's just the challenges, the challenges itself that just got to me. Like some are
you
cool.
like that frame rate?
60 FPS.
It
looks great, actually.
Yeah, it's smooth, looks good. Honestly, it's for a launch title, this isn't bad.
Right.
Like it really does. Like the fact that I was used to F-Zero X's fog, but this is just you can actually see for quite a distance, and you have the certain things pop in, but the fact that you have that level of detail is impressive. Technically, it is an impressive game. The physics aren't bad in this for again early N64 3D game. The physics feel pretty good. Everything around it seems like it's good stuff. It's just the challenges themselves suck. Like there's not a proper ramp up. It's like, okay, we'll ease you in, we'll do this. I feel like they needed a better training program for how to land. Like here's how you land, and then ease that into like just give a demonstration. But instead it's just like, okay, slow down. I think I got it. Okay, I'm on the target. Stop. And I bounced. Damn it, ruined it. Or hey, all right, I finally didn't bounce, and I can actually get a decent score.
Yeah. I wanted to point out, I like that there are multiple islands. I thought it was just going to be one big island like Pilotwings Resort might be. I don't know if it is. I haven't played it, but I know like they advertise that around the like Nintendo Wii Sports Resort Island, Woohoo Island, whatever it's called. But here, you do get multiple islands, and when you want to just roam around and look at stuff, I like that idea that it's not all loaded from the get-go. I kind of like stuff slowly popping. It's not even popping in. It's more like it's coming out of the fog or something, right?
Yeah.
It's like kind of like fading a little bit, I think.
Right. I like that. And yeah, it's 60 FPS, so when you turn, like it does feel like it's stuttering. And I don't know. It's an aesthetic that I enjoy, like pure Nintendo 64 aesthetic. I dare even say like there are parts where it looks like a Dreamcast game, right? When it's running at 60.
He said it.
I know. But yeah, this type of spectacle, that's the word I used earlier, this type of spectacle only works because it was a launch game. If it came out later, I guess there'd still be spectacle, but I feel like context matters. And the fact that this was a launch game makes me more appreciative of it than if it just randomly came out in the middle of the Nintendo or at the end of the Nintendo 64's lifespan.
Yeah, I could see that. Like if Super Mario Bros. On the NES came out like towards the end, it would be like,
yeah, what's the point of this when I've been playing Kirby's Adventure and Ninja Turtles and whatever?
Exactly. Like Majora's Mask Ocarina of Time, like there's a big difference in quality between those two with the full 3D towns and stuff like that.
Yeah. Question: is there any difference between the characters? Like, is there a reason to choose any? Is it just visuals?
I don't think so.
Because I just went around to each of them, and I mean, there's some wacky character designs here. We got two kids, two middle-aged people, and two older people. But for some reason, it feels weird to Nintendo to just have essentially proto Lara Croft in here. It's like, what the hell?
There is differences.
There are differences?
There are.
A lot, apparently.
Really?
In the instruction booklet, there's like, wow, there's a ton. Okay, so Lark and Kiwi are in their own category. So the kids are in their own category. Goose and Ibis?
I think Ibis, yeah.
Ibis
Ibis
are in a category, and then Hawk and Robin are in one. So Kiwi and Lark have good reaction to control stick, and they're not easily affected by inertia. And the small size makes them susceptible to wind with injection power. I don't know what injection power is.
Okay.
There's like a ton of differences. Holy crap.
I didn't know. Can you send that to me so I can actually like play this game properly now?
Yeah, well, that's the thing is, I don't think they have it, but it would be nice if like the Nintendo 64 Online thing had like an access to the manual.
The Wii U
Trust me,
had
that
that.
has been a common complaint of mine, where it's like it just feels like a manual would help out on a lot of these games where you're just,
Especially the NES.
yeah, where you're thrust into the game and you're like, you don't know all the systems. One of the more infamous examples in my case was, have you either of you played Star Tropics?
Yes, I have.
So
I'll
if
let you
you
talk about it, but-
so using an item that's not automatically upgraded within a dungeon, it took me forever to figure out how to do that because you have to hit select and then hit down in order to find the item and use it. So
Right.
Yeah.
it's one of those things where if I had a manual I could refer to, like granted we have the internet, but it's like it
I'd
feels
use
like
that.
it should be part of the service.
Yeah, it was when you bought these games on Wii U, they came with the manuals. I'm wondering if it's because it really is this streaming service type of thing where it's like, no, you just get the game. You technically don't own the game like you did on Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
You're
True.
provided like an access key to the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you're right. I wish we did have the manuals in a more
I
convenient
sent you the
manner.
manual.
I didn't know the characters played differently. I was merely alternating between them because,
Yeah,
like I
just
said, I
trying
was
out.
recording footage of
I
everything.
mean, it's one of those classic things where it's like, back then they didn't put tutorials in games really.
Right.
It wasn't until like the GameCube era that we started getting, there's a training room now to train in Luigi's Mansion and
Right.
tutorial levels for Mario Sunshine, kind of, because it's like you get sent at the airport and they're like, oh, Mario, use this and try that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's I mean, that's still true to an extent that we get games where like the tutorial, like Tears of the Kingdom is a good example. There's not really tutorials as much as there are designated shrines that just like better teach you these mechanics than others, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I agree.
I would say that Pilotwings, it's not like hard to play, I guess. Well, hang gliding's hard to play. But I could have also, to Derrick's point, I could have also benefited from like clearer tutorial instructions.
Yeah.
Some sort of like just clue of like the best way to land. That's all
Yeah.
if I just had that, I feel like I would have a much easier, like a much more enjoyable time because I could struggle my way through the main mission. Trust me, I sometimes, boy, I sure love going through rings that like to move and rotate and
Yeah, the
change.
rotate rings are tough. Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
I swear, like I'm about to hit it and like, nope, you missed it. Turn around and get it again. It's like, oh.
I thought you were gonna say I about hit like my TV. It's like, I swear I almost hit my TV.
Thankfully, I didn't quite get to that point because I was just like, I'm gonna go play Mario Wonder.
Yeah,
Mario Wonder's great. Now, Pilotwings Resort, I had a lot easier time getting 100% on that.
I've heard from a lot of people that
more.
Pilotwings Resort is considered to be the best.
Pilotwings,
Okay, so
I
the
don't.
games get progressively better. That's good.
Yeah.
So Pilotwings on the SNES, I played it. It was okay. Probably need to play it again. I didn't really like super get into it like Pilotwings 64. Pilotwings Resort, I love it because of the Wii aesthetic. Once again, the whole reason I'm playing these is pretty much the aesthetic and just that nature, that small gameplay loop is really fun for me. So that's good, but I feel like I appreciate the vibe of Pilotwings 64 because it's just so original. It's just
Right.
like there's nothing that looks like Pilotwings 64. And Pilotwings Resort is like, it's Wii Sports.
Yeah.
Wii Fit,
We're just gonna
all that kind of
reuse these
stuff.
assets and let you fly around.
Yeah.
with them.
And I love it, but for me it's just the Mecha Hawk in the middle of the United States, and you can see the Statue of Liberty in the distance while you shoot him with using the Nestor guy from Nintendo Power, missiles shooting as he explodes as he super houses. It's just
Yeah. Okay. So I wanted to touch on that real quickly because last time, or before we started playing, you were like, Nestor's in the game, but he's called Lark for some reason.
yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess because every character is named after a bird. They could have gotten away with like Nest, but I guess that's pushing
Yeah.
it. So they're like, okay, just Lark.
I had no idea they were named after birds.
Really?
Oh yeah, yeah,
I-
Lark, Hawk, Goose. I mean,
I thought Lark was just a silly name. You know, like back in
I
the
mean,
day.
it is a
where,
silly
like,
name.
You have a lark. Yeah, no, that's an actual bird. Ibis
I
is
thought
a
it was
bird.
like a name that like the developers and like someone in Japan was like, "Oh, what's a good American name? Lark.
Yeah. You sure you don't want Clark? No, just Lark.
No,
Yeah.
Lark
yeah.
sounds better. Kuraku? No. Raku. That makes more sense.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I am glad I played it because I'm glad I can be part of the conversation. Two, I finally got to dip my hands into a franchise I haven't played before. And three, like I said, it makes me more appreciative of games that were released around that time.
Yeah.
That said, if I was not part of this Good Vibes Gaming game club, sorry. If I was not part of the Good Vibes Gaming game club, I don't know if I would have played it despite how many times you would have recommended it to me. I was like, I don't know, man. I've got so many other things I got to do, and you want me to play the game where I'm a guy in a jetpack flying around USA? I mean, I guess when I describe it like that, it sounds
When you describe it
pretty
like that,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
shoot
It's kinda
Mecca,
cool.
Mecca.
yeah, but otherwise, did I have fun with it? Yes, I did. Would I recommend it to other people? Unless you're a gaming enthusiast like us, probably not. You know, like unless you're really trying to get into like appreciating game history and development, there's not much incentive to play it nowadays. I don't want to say that it holds up poorly because it does hold up really well, but I struggle to recommend this over like Mario 64 or Bomberman or
It works.
I wouldn't recommend
better
it
as
to my
a-
mom.
Yeah, it works better as a curiosity now. But
Right.
you kind of jumped ahead here, but I was actually going to transition to this. But you know what? Let's get
sorry.
right into it since we've said all we wanted to say about Pilotwings 64. And we got to get that final verdict in. And you kind of already gave yours, Yoshiller. But let's
Yeah.
make it official. Would you recommend it as an NSO or tell people to stay away with an NO?
Sorry, I didn't know you did that.
Yeah.
And yes, oh man.
I had to have
Not
something
bad
dumb like
enough.
that as
Okay,
for my
like-
recommendations.
It's not a bad game for me to tell people to stay away. I feel like that's harsh. I feel like that's reserved for like Superman 64, right?
Right, well,
Which
that's
I
the
also
thing here
secretly
with-
hope comes to the service someday.
That's the tricky thing with this service is that you're already paying for it. The game's there. Was it hurt to try it? But it's
It's
Right.
just like
It's sort of that
is
idea-
it worth the time?
yeah. Is it worth the time to try?
To try it, you know what? It's not a very long game. I'd say it's worth trying. If you already have it, yeah. But like, don't go hunt down a cartridge. Don't. It's
How
not
much
one of
it is.
those games. I'll give it a yes. I do recommend it, but a little hesitantly.
Okay. I think I know what you're going to say, Andrew, but NSO or NO?
Well, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Buying an actual cartridge thing is like $10.
Oh, damn.
Really?
Wow.
Wow.
Oh
So
shoot!
that-
Buy it now then.
Yeah,
Fuck,
definitely
that'll
buy it
go
now.
up in like 10
Man, the
years'
price
time.
has really tanked since 1994. It was $130.
Phew.
Okay. I mean, obviously, NSO. Of course. I mean, to me, it's like I wouldn't recommend it to my mom or like my dad or my brother.
I don't know. Certain dads
or
might
my
be into
s-
this sort of thing.
My dad is the kind of guy that really enjoys like an arcadey kind of game, which this kind of is, but he's more into like the Disney Infinity kind of thing. You know what I mean? Where it's like nice, simple, easy, really gets you like in with like the world and the story. And this has some really great world building. And I think it's worth playing just even if you don't like want to like grind to try to like get all goals or something like that, just to be able to like experience the vibe to me is worth taking the time to do. And if you're like me and you really like that kind of like quick burst of like focus, hey, you know, that kind of thing, if you're into that, I feel like the gameplay loop of Pilotwings 64, as Yoshiller said, really holds up. And it's good enough to where if you don't like it, it was 1 minute, you know, of your life.
True. Yeah.
It's not like
it
you're-
won't take you long to figure out whether this is your thing or not.
Exactly. So basically, I recommend it to every single person on the face of the planet. Play for 1 minute. If you hate it after 1 minute, you're probably, I mean, you could grind it and try to like get better at it. But, you know, if you're like, oh, this sucks, then you might as well stop. But if
You might
you
want to
like,
start with a gyrocopter though. If you're only going to play for 1 minute, just go straight into
Yeah,
gyrocopter.
gyrocopter right off. Yeah.
Gyrocopter is the simplest one because it makes the most sense because you're holding down the accelerator,
But
you
I-
move
But
really
I go
quickly.
left to right, so I start. You're gonna be inclined to start with the hang glider because you go left to right for a lot of these
exactly.
things, so.
Hang glider is the toughest one to land. The rocket one to me is the toughest one because the inert. It's like really hard to, like, when you're going forward, you have to go back.
Yeah, you have that air brake. I figured out much later on. You have the air brake that stops, but it drains your fuel like crazy.
Yeah. I forget that happens, actually. I forgot the fuel even exists. So, because I never use air brake, because I forget that exists. The gyrocopter is definitely the easiest one. And just play it enough to unlock Birdman. Set it down on your TV. Do your homework. Do your chores while that's playing, and then every once in a while you look at the screen and you just see the waves crashing in, bro, and you can hear the birds chirp, the seagulls across the sky, and you can just be like, damn, that was worth the $10 a year. That's all you need.
I love it. I'm definitely one of those that I can't say I fully enjoyed my time here, but I know just a few tweaks here and there, lighten the difficulty, but maybe have a few more missions that ease you into the way the things are. And I think it could do it. I think the carrot would just be enough to unlock those extra modes and see what you can do. Like, I think while it's cool that you unlock Birdman first, I think one of the sillier ones first would have made more sense to me. That way you get ways like, here, skydive and try this, or here, jump across with these legs or whatever. I think that has a way of like, oh, this is gamey type stuff. This is silly. I want to see what else they have. And you can get that carrot to sort of push you a little bit further. And then you get the Birdman stuff that allows you to explore. Granted, everybody's going to have their own little like preference of what they want unlocked when, but personally, it's just like, I just remember banging my head against this wall, trying to get these medals so I could try to unlock that stuff because I want to see what the other silly things are like, but I couldn't do it, and I just got frustrated by it. Again, as you said, it's hard not to recommend because it's available. It's not like a piece of trash that you just don't even waste your time with. It's worth checking out. So yes, I would give it a light NSO, but it very much depends on the person. It's fine. It's just not for me.
You know, you probably like Pilotwings Resort.
Maybe.
You probably would. But this isn't the show for that.
No. I would. My next Pilotwings experience is going to be the original on SNES.
I feel like the original was probably harder. At least it was for me.
I would not be surprised.
Good luck.
Mode 7 and all that, so yay. But what about all of you at home? Have you played Pilotwings 64 before, or was this your first time? And before we go, where can everyone find you guys at? Beta64, let's start with you. Plug away.
Oh, shoot. Plug away. Just Twitch. Twitch.tv/Beta64. If you look behind me at all these like decorations and stuff, that's because right now, I mean, this is going to be too late once this video comes out.
Oh, no, it comes out on Sunday, so you're still before Halloween.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. 31st. Come to my stream on the 31st. We're going to be doing Trick or Treat, which is a special yearly thing that we do where the chat has two choices, both obscured in mystery, and you have to choose one of them. One will be a treat for you, and the other will be a trick. Will it be a terrifying game or a lollipop adventure? You'll just have to wait and see. Will I eat vitamin C supplements or fried chicken? You'll just have to wait and see on Trick or Treat. It'll all be up to you. It'll all be up to you.
Amazing. And Yoshiller, where can everyone find you at?
Hi, my name is Yoshiller. I do YouTube videos. I try to do them daily. I've kind of fallen behind as of late, but I try to do daily gameplay videos. And on Twitter, I am not Yoshiller. I am real Yoshiller. So make sure.
No, real one.
Yeah,
make sure you find the real one with
like...
the Yoshi hat. And otherwise, I edit for a bunch of other content creators, so you might see my name pop up every once in a while.
Yeah, so definitely check them both out. And thank you both for joining me. And all of you lovely viewers enjoyed this episode, let us know in the comments. And please consider supporting us at patreon.com/gvgaming, which includes our live audience tier that will allow you to watch Game Club live as it's being recorded. But even just subscribing and hitting that bell helps us a ton. But now it's time for the Wheel of Games to choose next week's title, as I'm joined by my special guests, Matt McMuscles and Derrick of Stop Skeletons from Fighting. Are you both ready to see what game we're playing?
Ready and waiting.
Wait.
Now I'm ready.
Okay, now you're ready. Let's bring up the wheel and see what we're playing off the NSO as it spins. And the game we'll be playing this week, well, that's just kind of perfect, almost. Mario Party 2 for the Nintendo 64.
Ooh, a party featuring Marios.
Yeah. Almost got Mario Party 3.
Should we just play the single player campaign and see how that adds up, or should we do?
I mean,
are we duty bound to do a game online, the three of us then?
Does it have online? It does, doesn't it?
yes, NSO has online, so we could try to have an
Yeah.
online match against each other, at least one of these. I feel like all of us have played at least one game of Mario Party 2, so.
But I never remember which one I played. Like, none of them have individual identities to me specifically, because someone pops in a Mario Party, a party featuring them, and then I'm like, yeah, I'll play the mini games. I don't know. But here's the thing. Wouldn't every episode of a Mario Party game just be like, whoever hated it, and whoever won loves that game? Like, that seems to be what always breaks down to me.
Yeah, I definitely have. I don't know that I have played a Mario Party game
What?
where at the end of it, where at the end of it, I didn't hate everybody in that room. I have, and I think I've even like won or gotten close to winning a couple times, but it still was like, that didn't feel right that I stole that from you. I literally kicked you when you were down and took your lunch money.
At least,
a star from you.
At least you haven't played Dokapon Kingdom. That's the game that makes you hate your fellow man.
I have played Dokapon Kingdom. I have a hard copy of that shit.
I do.
Is that Fortune Street?
No, Dokapon
No.
Kingdom is like an RPG / board game all about money, and there's ways you can be real mean to your fellow player.
It was a Wii exclusive, I think.
Yes, the one that actually got localized for us. They actually just remade it on the Switch.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I have played Fortune Street, and Fortune Street is like a Mario Party but Monopoly,
Pretty
and
much.
it takes like 4 hours.
But
Can.
Derrick hit it on the head where it's like, you wind up hating everyone else in the room, and really at the end of the day, that's what Nintendo like set out to do: promote hate. Like that or multiplayer in like new Super Mario Brothers games or something. It's just let's promote hate, get everyone hating on each other. That's what we at Nintendo are all about.
Yeah.
And it started with Mario Party, really. I
Of
think.
all things, I mean, it could be meaner, but we'll give our full thoughts on Mario Party as we begin next episode. For now, we'll see you next time as we cover Mario Party 2 for the Nintendo 64. Thanks for watching, and until next time, bye.